Hello. Hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3810. Yeah, 810. Today's date is 11th of January 2026. It's been almost like a night at 9:38 p.m. Alright, let's just jump into the question. Let's go. Okay, the question is, what if music built bridges between the world? Okay, that's a really good question. Alright, first of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? This is what if question. Why am I asking this question to myself? What if question is always been really interested way to you the answer. It kind of like a force me to think about that reality. When I try to think about that reality, or when I try to create that reality inside of my mind, I'm kind of like utilizing my knowledge, information, and experience that I've been through. And somehow it kind of like a felt good. Disclaimer: the information that I'm trying to tell you is not exactly right or is not exactly wrong either. It's a raw, it's unfiltered, it's just my opinion. So do not believe in any kind of like information that I'm saying, or do not seek for any kind of like information that I'm saying. It's just my opinion, and opinion are subjective. Now regarding about the question says that what if music build bridges between two worlds? Now what exactly it means? Okay, yeah. Now if you are kind of like a thinking from practical point of perspective, then it does not. Okay, yeah. Like a music is not build the bridges in two worlds. Okay, yeah. But it does, metaphorically. If you don't really understand, na, I kind of like a simply simplified. Maybe you probably experience this thing too. Okay, yeah. I run every single day. Okay, yeah. And while I was running, I play EDM songs. Okay, yeah. Those EDM songs are kind of like a pump me up and things like that. Which kind of like a that song will kind of like a put me into the such a mood that I would kind of like a simply like a like basically just work out and things and that and that. Like it kind of like a process adrenaline inside of me. So what exactly is this thing? Like my real world is that I am in the real. I'm kind of like a running, but my kind of like a somebody the world is like the music is kind of like a creating such a world that connect me with kind of like a somebody that keep like I was in the kind of like a workout, or maybe I was in the kind of like a somebody gym, and I was kind of like a doing a workout and things like that. And that music is kind of like a connecting that bridges from my real world to kind of like a something that gym world, and then I was kind of like a running and kind of like a, I resonate that action in the real world, and then I kind of like a run. If you still not really understanding this thing now, what you have to do is that key go to the YouTube, search about uh, rain sound effects or rain sound effects music. Okay, yeah. Put it in the headphone, play this song in the headphone. Okay, yeah. And suddenly you just kind of like a feel like that you are surrounded by kind of like a something the rain is actually happen everywhere. Like basically if you are kind of like at the office and you are kind of like doing a job, but suddenly there is a kind of like a somebody the sound effects of rain, it's kind of like a put you into that particular world where you are kind of like experiencing that kind of like a somebody water droplets and things and that it connect with that thing. That music is kind of like a somewhat something connect. If you're still not believing that, do it right now, right here, just do it. It literally kind of like a connect with that particular emotion. This is what kind of like a music is kind of like a build the bridges between two world, and that is like a one of the crazy thing. For me, music is a kind of like a one of the amazing tool that I don't know, but for me music is a kind of like one of the crazy thing. Like I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. Music is a kind of like a thing that I think that I connect with my divine. There is a one specific thing that I wanted to mention. Okay, I am a filmmaker. Like basically I'm not kind of like a make any kind of like a film. Okay, I just kind of like a make YouTube videos, and I kind of like a make, yeah. But what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that I am not officially a filmmaker, but let's just say that I don't know how do I like am I called myself as a filmmaker or not, because I haven't really made any kind of like a film and things and that. But I made kind of a couple of short films in my YouTube channel. Like probably doesn't really have any kind of like views and things like that. But still, okay, yeah. Let's just okay. I am a kind of like a small filmmaker. Okay, yeah. Now, what exactly is this thing, na? Ki I kind of like a play the music, and some of the music are really crazy. Okay, yeah. I kind of like a simply suggest you to listen Hans Zimmer music. Oh my god! Like literally, just like that. When I play this music, I was in the another world. Literally, like basically, it's not really that. Ki, like basically, I am kind of like simply listening the soundtrack of the Interstellar movie, and I'm kind of like imagine the Interstellar. No, I'm kind of like simply went into the another world. I'm kind of like simply creating my own world and things and that and that. Let me tell you one thing. I made a binary code. Okay, yeah. Like I didn't made the binary code. I wrote the script and I kind of like designed the entire movie script inside of my head is because of Hans Zimmer music. Is because of that key. Like basically this thing I don't know how I supposed to explain, but when I was in kind of like a library, like it's been almost like maybe 10 year ago, 10 yeah probably it's actually happened in 2012 or maybe 2013 probably. Okay, yeah. I was actually going to the kind of like a something library every single day with my friend, and in the library I used to go for the study, but I didn't really do any kind of like a study. I just kind of like put the headphone, and when I put the headphone and I kind of like plug that Hans Zimmer music, oh my god, I literally went into the another world. I can't really explain how it kind of like felt. It just felt like that. Oh my god, every scene that I design, every emotion that I design from this music, from Hans Zimmer music, not just kind of like not just one specific Hans Zimmer music, but mostly. Okay, yeah, like a like his music is kind of like somebody just connect with every notes, every emotions and things and that without any kind of like words and things, and that's why it just connect with me from that my friction world, that it just amazes me in every single time. Still, like basically this is in us still today. What is that happened that key while I was running, there is a kind of like some sound effect, sorry, soundtrack, Stay from the Interstellar movie, Stay soundtrack. Okay, that soundtrack is kind of like hit me so hard, dude. Literally, I was kind of like imagine that particular binary code plane sequence and things and that and that. Like if you don't really know what is actually plane sequence and binary code, like these are kind of like a binary code that I kind of like simply wrote the script. Okay, and I design inside of my head, but I didn't really made a film. I will gonna made that film, but in this particular film there is a kind of like a plane sequence, and in that plane sequence I was kind of like imagine things, and dude, like it just kind of like it's not kind of like a shivering, it's not a kind of like a goosebump, it's a kind of like a things that how do I supposed to explain, it's a very weird to explain things like that. Okay, so have you ever got any anesthesia? Like when you get the anesthesia, your entire that body organ kind of like a get kind of like a you will not feel anything at all, that body organ. Okay, yeah. Like basically is this thing when you kind of like a sit like a mandi घालून तुम्ही बसलात. Like if you don't know what is actually mandi घालून बसलात, like basically in India we have to kind of like a sit while we are eating. Okay, sit like means I'm not kind of like a sit like a kind of like a sit on chair. No, sit on the floor. Okay, when you sit on the floor on your leg, then probably after a couple of time, like probably like hours or things like that, your legs got numb. Okay, you don't really feel anything at all. It's actually happened because of the blood clotting and things like that, because blood is actually stopped. It does not, blood doesn't really flow in this particular or body organ and things like that. So for a particular period of time, like for a couple of minutes, you don't really feel that particular leg, and that is called kind of like a numb feeling. Okay, you probably experience this thing. This is exactly happened when I kind of like simply listen that music now. My head, it felt like that ki I don't really have anything like a like like anything is like that. It's a very weird to say, but it felt like that ki felt like this, like I don't know how to it's a like my entire head, like basically my entire head, like I am actually sensing my face, I'm sensing my eyes, I'm sensing my nose and things like that, but I am not sensing my head. Literally, I'm not sensing my head. Literally, just kind of like feels like that, like there is a something inside of my head. It's kind of like so much heavy that I'm not like I'm feeling that like it how do I it's a very crazy like basically it's just thing that na ki your hand get numb. Okay, yeah. And when your hand get numb, and when you kind of like try to connect, when you try to touch your hand, that hand is actually connect. That hand feels very weird. Okay. If you see, it's still very confusing to say. Okay, yeah. Take a right hand, take a left hand, touch the right hand from the left hand. Okay, yeah. If you touch that thing, you actually sense that key your right hand is actually touching your left hand. Okay, because your brain is kind of like assuming connect with that and that and that and that things. Okay, yeah. Now what exactly happened? That key, whoever the person around you, okay, ask him to kind of like touch your left hand or touch your any kind of like a hand. It felt weird, like a touch your hand and touch let other person touch your hand. Other person touch feel different. Other person touch feel really different. Now why is that happened is because of that key. Basically your hand is actually connected with your hand and things like that, so that's why you kind of like somebody other hand, basically your left hand is actually expecting that your right hand should supposed to be touched, and it doesn't really feel anything at all. But when other person kind of like a touch you, it kind of like felt very differently because of that key. Your mind is not actually connected with that mind, so it kind of like felt very differently. Okay, yeah. So this is what exactly I feel. That key, like basically this thing, my head got numb. Okay, yeah. And because of it got numb, it felt like that key, this head is belong to somebody. Okay, yeah, this head belong to somebody, and I'm kind of like carrying that carrying that head like basically his brain and things like it felt, I don't know how I'm supposed to explain. It's a very weird things actually happened. And it's not actually happened today. It's actually happened multiple times, every single time. It's not really that key. It just happened today. It happened while running, while kind of like it actually happened when I was kind of like thinking very deeply or kind of like a stuff and stuff like that. And it just felt really good. Okay, it's kind of like a adrenaline, but it's not adrenaline, because when you got the adrenaline, you kind of like a pump up. Your action became kind of like a very fast and things like that. It's not adrenaline. It's a something felt good. It's not even dopamine too, because dopamine is kind of like a feel good hormone, but it's not dopamine too. It's a, I don't know what exactly is this thing. It felt good, but different. Okay, yeah, it's how do I supposed to explain? I don't know. I still don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. Probably I'm kind of like thinking that key, let's just say that key, if you are kind of like doing a penetration while doing sex, if you are doing penetration, then your penis might feel something very different when you are kind of like entered into vagina and things like that. But it's still not I haven't really experienced that particular thing, so I'm not really sure about that. Okay, yeah. But my head is kind of like felt like that, and it happened multiple times. Okay, and this is actually happened every single time when there is kind of like a music is actually happened. Okay, yeah, where I kind of like put the headphone and yeah, it just kind of like entire thing, and every single time music is always been there, like every single time. It's not really that like basically it happened every time. No, music is always been there, and because of this music, I'm kind of like connecting with my friction world, connecting with my kind of like assembly my imagination world, and it became so strong that it kind of like felt so real. Okay, literally real. But I understand it's not real. It's a kind of like something inside of my imagination. It's my thought and things like that. But music is a kind of like let me believe that thing. That connection became so strong that it just felt really good, and felt really, I don't know how to suppose. It just felt good in every possible way. So, and probably I am not the only one who kind of like is only experiencing this thing. You also experience this thing too. Okay, yeah. Music is, yeah, definitely it kind of like a connect with a kind of like some different world and things and that. And it just amazes me in every single time. And it just definitely happened with you too. You just have to understand this thing. So music build the bridges between the world. I think it is. It's not what if. It is like it literally kind of like somebody build the bridges between the world and things like. It's a very kind of like a metaphorical question. It's not kind of like a technical question that probably a music kind of like a notes kind of like a create the bridges between the two worlds. No, it's not. It's a kind of like a metaphorical thumb. We are not kind of like a living in different world, but still, okay. Another there is another kind of like a simply the thought that I wanted to explain. It's not thought. There is a kind of like a song that kind of like a connect with a very kind of like a such a emotion that I like basically is this thing na. It's been actually kind of like a simply okay. What is actually that song? Um, like literally I just kind of like every single time I just completely forgot this song, but this song is kind of like a really crazy. It was um it was like I have this song in my wish list. Okay, yeah. But this song, okay, just what is exactly that song? Let me YouTube. Okay, let me pause here for a while. I'm gonna pause here. All right, hello. Okay, so this is the song. The song name Gajendra Verma song Ek Kahani. Okay, yeah. So this is a song that kind of like somebody connect with a different world. Okay, yeah. Now what is actually world that I'm trying to tell you? Okay, yeah. So probably this actually happened in maybe 2014 or maybe 2015. I'm not really sure. Okay, yeah, probably in that particular time, maybe 14 or 15. Yeah, 14 probably. Yeah, 14. I was kind of like a liking a particular girl, like a kind of like a girl that I used to like a much too much. I don't know. I was kind of like my brain is kind of like a thinking about her all the time and things and that and that. I never really talked with her. Like I probably talked just very little. I just kind of like open up WhatsApp, check her DP, kind of like a download her DP or take a screenshot of her DP and things like that. And it just felt like really good. I don't know. Is it kind of like a simply love? I'm not really sure. But at that time, I was really fall for that girl. Literally, yeah. And there is a kind of like a song which kind of like a at that time was very much popular. This song name is a Gajendra Verma Ek Kahani. Okay, if you like basically if you wanted to listen this song, go to the YouTube search about this song Gajendra Verma Ek Kahani. This song is still connect me that feeling, that kind of like some emotion that I experienced been through at that time. And yeah, it does. Like whenever this song is actually played, I just went back in 2014 and literally I was actually feeling the exact feeling at that time. I was kind of like a feeling for her and things and that. And probably I'm not really sure, like it's not kind of like a thing that I'm kind of like something special and things. It actually happened with you too. Definitely you have kind of like a song that connect with your kind of like the feeling and emotions and things and that. It does. Literally it does. Don't lie to me. You have that thing. You have like you probably like I'm not really sure if you're kind of like a born in maybe kind of like a 90s or things, then probably it might be kind of like a things very different. But still, if you are born in 1990 or more after 99, after like I born in 1993. Okay, yeah, probably you have a kind of like a phone and kind of like some headphone and things like that. And literally it does, like that music is actually connect me that kind of like some world that I was kind of like yeah, this and that. So yeah, it is kind of it build the kind of like a bridges in my real world to that imaginary world and things and that. It felt really good. It felt like being human. I don't know how I'm supposed to explain this thing, but yeah. So yes, there are so many kind of like some music I have which kind of like something resonate different emotions. Okay, yeah. There is a kind of like a song that I wanted to mention. Chitiya Kalaiya Ve. Okay, this is the kind of like a song that it connect me from the first time I kind of like heard this song. In like we went like me and all my friends are actually kind of like went to trekking, not trekking, kind of like went to which it's a hill station probably, Chikhaldara hill station. We went there, and during this trip we are kind of like playing this song. Okay, yeah, Chitiya Kalaiya Ve. And when this kind of like assembly song is actually play, I still kind of like went there. There is a lot of kind of like assembly song is actually connect with particular emotions and time. It just stick with that, and literally we just kind of like went there, and it felt somehow good. So does music connect the bridges between two worlds? Technically not. Metaphorically yes, it is that. It is kind of like assembly connecting that. And I am not the only one who's kind of like experiencing this thing. You also experience this thing too. Yeah, literally you also experience this thing. You just have to understand this thing, dude. You just have to look at inside of you. There is a something, some sort of kind of like a song or music, or kind of like a connect with some sort of emotions that you experience and been through. Probably is this thing that ki the scenario might be kind of like a somebody very much like let's just say that ki if you had a breakup, okay, yeah, and when you had a breakup at that time, you kind of like somebody listening some sort of music or things and that, and after a couple of years when you play that same music, you just kind of like feel that pain of breakup. Like I there is one of my friend who kind of like somebody had a breakup. I didn't really understand the how much it kind of like a feel pain when it had a breakup. Okay, yeah, but the way that he mentioned, the way that he was not like, I never really seen him cry in rest of my lifetime. But and but the way that he kind of like described this thing that he like I like, she like that, he like that particular girl and things and that, the when he was kind of like saying this thing, I kind of like a sense that he was kind of like crying from inside. Because like when we get kind of like a little bit of kind of like a cry, our tone little bit of change. Okay, yeah, and this is what kind of like a things. And by the way, this guy is very muscular guy. Like probably I never really seen him kind of like a cry and things like that. But he's not crying. But when he was kind of like a telling story and things like that, like a why breakup and things happen and stuff like that, then I understand this thing that ki breakup might be a very painful thing. Like I didn't really experiencing this thing, but yeah, the people who actually experience this thing, they feel a lot of painful and things like that. So if you went this particular process, if you went this particular thing, probably you might have kind of like a particular music at that time. Just play that music. You literally feel that pain. After so long year, you literally feel that pain, that breakup pain. And yeah, this is the dude. Like it just, yeah. And it does connect with that kind of like somebody connect the bridge and things like that. It's a human thing. It's a very hard to explain in technical point of perspective, but in metaphorical or maybe emotional, or I don't know how they're supposed to explain. It's been kind of like something human should supposed to be experience. It's not should supposed to be explain things like that. Whatever. This is it. I should supposed to end here, and thank you.